What if things don't end up like they're supposed to? What if this work, this energy I've invested doesn't pay off? What if stay average? What if my story was never meant to be unique? What if I try and I fail? What if my friends stop calling? What if I let my family down? What if people don't like what I have to say? What if my idea is a little too out there? What if I'm pushing things too far too quickly? What if the worst possible scenario happens? What if I lose everything? What if success is for someone else? What if I'm meant to work, to pay bills and to sleep? What if the starting role is just too much for me? What if I was a born follower? What if I never find happiness? What if I don't choose the right path? What if I get lost? What if I can never be as good as the person standing next to me? What if a life of meaning will always be something I'll have to stare up at, wishing, dreaming? Or what if I just change the way I look at the world? What if today is just the beginning? What if I decide who I'm going to be and become it? What if my actions can create a ripple effect that will transcend space and time? What if impossible isn't fact? What if it's opinion? And what if I don't buy it? What if this new world means that existence starts with me? What if I can be the one people look up to? What if my past got me here but has no effect on where I can go? What if every single day is a fresh start? What if I can be the one who defies the odds? What if my dreams become the standard? What if my ideas change how people see reality? What if the term difficult is nothing more than a cop-out? What if my doubters ignite the flame that is my success? What if my fear of mediocrity overcomes my fear of the unknown? What if second place is no longer an option? What if I make the choice to live every second of my life like it's a miracle? And what if that's exactly what every second is? What if it's time to start living like it, to start thinking like it, to never sell myself short? What if nothing good happens until I believe it? What if I stopped wasting my time trying to convince others because I am the only one who must be convinced? We get from the world what we invest in ourselves, right? The patience, the daily work, commitment, focus, all these things that transform us, unlock even the toughest doors. Because piecing together the world you want is an impossible task. If you haven't created your ideal self first, if you haven't built yourself up every day, making yourself a little better, a little stronger, in the same sense that piece by piece, bricks become walls, that become houses, that become cities, that proceed to make up our reality, you are your greatest asset. You need to treat yourself that way. Invest in education, invest in health, invest in happiness, maximize the person, and your experiences and your accomplishments will follow. I was once told that to get what you want, you need to focus on it with everything you have. Better yourself every day. Make your world revolve around success. Build winning habits, winning mentalities, winning mindsets. Then you can watch the world unfold before you. And when that time comes, it will be because of everything you've invested into yourself, into being better the world, reality, life. It had no choice but to follow suit. There's something I want to address for a few reasons. One, because every day I'm asked questions that pertain directly to this. Two, because it will change how you think about your future. And it's that effort and talent always find a way, period. There are no exceptions to this rule. And the funny thing is, the people who are worried that haven't found their path, they don't know where to focus their skill set. Terrified about the future. If that's you, you're doing the work right. You're thinking about the right things. You've made your life a priority. The dude on the couch eating chips for 12 hours, that needs to be concerned. And I would guess that he's probably not. And so here's the golden ticket, right? It's that idea of repurposing your anxiety or any uncertainty you have into a sense of exploration. Because it's a good thing. Caring is step one. Having drive is step one. And you are there. You have the pieces just like a Ferrari in park. Yeah, it's not moving, but is there anything to be concerned about? I think it's on the freeway. Of course it's going to fly. Maybe it doesn't know which freeway, but who cares? That's the fun part. It has everything it needs. Sometimes it's not about where you're going. Sometimes it's about what you have, who you are, what you value. If you have the drive to improve yourself, you're going to improve. So relax, because the truth is, life is not as serious as we make it out to be. You could go live on an island for 5 years, come back and reacclimate, and things would be the same here. Once you see that you are the initiator of success, not the class you choose, the person you date, the job you take, you are the Ferrari, the $1 million man. It all comes back to belief and trust. Maybe it's door A, maybe it's B, maybe it's C, but at the end of the day, whatever one you decide to kick down will be yours to conquer. Winners find ways to win. That's what they do. So you might as well trust and enjoy the process. When I think of the people in my life, there are many that I consider to be heroes. People who have helped me grow, shape the person that I've become over the years. Some I'm lucky enough to interact with every day, right? I know them personally. Others I've admired from a distance, reading their books, learning from their example. It's safe to say that without these people in our lives, we would not be where we are today. They provide the knowledge, the skills, and the tools to take on the world. But what they cannot do is push you through the door. They can help you build your wings, but they can't make you fly. For that, you have to look inward to the most important hero in your life, the one who can save you from any situation, who can take you to heights that you've never dreamed of, the one who decides if you fail or cede long before the challenge is even attempted. You, the one you see in the mirror. A hero is someone who's willing to take the dangerous road, to go where most people will not, to put everything on the line for what you believe in. Heroes, by their very nature, are exceptional. Expect that of yourself. Know that just because everyone sees something a certain way, it doesn't mean it shouldn't be challenged or adjusted. You are an innovator striving towards something new. And heroes don't run from the unknown. They seek it out and find the strength to embrace it. Victory is a product of struggle, of pain, of the times when the walls were closing in around you. But there was never a doubt in your mind that you'd get yourself out. Ask yourself how bad you want to succeed to win. Because once you've decided that you want it, that you truly want it, you'll know that you'll find success. Because you know that you'll do whatever it takes. Heroes don't quit. In having this faith in yourself, it brings a sense of power, of adrenaline. There is nothing you can't do, nothing you can't overcome. The world transforms into your kingdom, and while it doesn't owe you anything, you owe it to yourself to take what's yours from the world. So be your own person. Live with courage and follow your heart. It will never lead you astray. Sometimes it's not easy to see the finish line, to peer down that long, treacherous road ahead and feel completely confident that things will work out. You know that success is waiting there for you in one form or another. Obviously, there's no road signs letting you know that your progress is paying off. There's no blatant indicator that you're on the right track. Essentially, there's nothing right, nothing but the feet underneath you, taking you one step at a time to a fate that's completely unknown. And it's in this instance, while looking destiny in the eye, you have to remember anyone can sail in smooth waters. Anyone can dance when the music is playing. The great leveler, though, is how you live when it's not. When all you have is ambition and a plan, when it's just you, your song, and the road ahead, there's no concrete, evidential triumph. But you don't need that persistence during times of doubt, during improbability. That's what makes triumph so rare, so precious. It moves the strong-willed forward to bigger and better things. Things aren't handed to you, but they materialize. Over time, they transform from nothing to something. They emerge from hardship, out of ideas that were perceived by others as crazy as most achievements throughout the course of human history were. You know, as a child, you place your value on what feels right in the present. You're not thinking about 2 years down the road or wondering what others are going to think. Your creativity and your sense of exploration are running on all cylinders. Then something happens. We begin to understand the way of things. We see what's valued in society. We see what's expected. We see how success is defined. And so begins our ascent up the ladder. And rung by rung we climb, looking above us, below us, to see where others are, see how fast they've moved in relation to us. And eventually this coincides with how we see ourselves. And as you know, how you see yourself is the best indicator of what you will become. Which is why when so many people aren't happy with their day-to-day, that's a huge red flag. That's breathing, that's not living. Folks have been climbing this ladder their entire lives and never stopped to ask if it's where they were meant to be. Maybe the top of the community ladder isn't what you want, but you never thought. You only acted. And if you don't think it, if you don't ask yourself the question, you will climb and you will climb and you will climb until you burn out. I try and spend a few minutes every day thinking about this. It's the most important thing I can spend time on. It's my life. Don't act because you're supposed to. Act because you so desperately want to that there's no other option. Because you couldn't live without the adventure. You couldn't pass on the experience. Here's a secret. If you become fixated on a life that means nothing to you, at some point you will probably get to the top, and from there you will have a beautiful view of everything you missed out on. So maybe there is something to the whole chasing firefly routine. Maybe a 4-year-old running after a glowing bug with a jar deserves more credit than he's given. Why is it that some people maintain that winning mentality? They expect greatness out of everything they do, and others have the opposite mentality. They see greatness as a far-off thing, like something you see in the window of a store, something to just look at, to dream about. Not realistic. Why? We all know the formula. Sacrifice. And working hard enough at anything, it will get you results. You'll make progress. The problem is belief. People see greatness as something other than themselves, something beyond them, beyond their capabilities. The thought is not entertained. Look where you are now, where you have been. It has no impact on where you can go, on what can happen in the future. The possibility of something better is always, always there. If you want to win, you need to see yourself as a winner. You need to associate with winning. No champion ever got there accidentally. They knew they belonged with the best. So before another minute goes by, ask yourself whether you do, because that's simple. Acknowledgement opens the door to infinite possibility. The most important story in our lives is the story untold. Where there are no flaws, there are no setbacks. Just an open road mode. The story untold is where you step away from the world behind your eyes and you embrace the one that's in front of them, right? This story is different. You can't touch it, you can't grasp it, but you can feel it. It's not our past self, right? It's not that fiction that we become tied to and mistakenly identify with. It's something different. It's anything different. It's a blank page. It's a new chapter. It's an opportunity to bring to life all those times we said, I wish. You want to tell whatever story you want to tell. There is just no greater freedom. And when you step back, when you really assess, you realize that life is a collection of stories of events that unfolded as we allowed them to, and told through our experiences and perspectives. The only truths that exist are the ones we believe. The only facts out there are the ones we've agreed to accept. We are merely authors, writers, and creators. If you're not happy with your storyline changes, that's the beauty of life. You can make yourself the hero. We don't live for the final product. We live for the journey, the adventure, the joy of the process, tackling the unknown and turning it into something of beauty. That's why we get up every day. That's why landscapes, oceans, and skylines run away with our imagination. They're representative of what makes us feel alive. Sometimes it becomes extremely easy to forget that. The degree, the championship, the executive position, these things we seek, they are validation, but they are not life. What you do every day is life. How you turn ordinary things into extraordinary things. Cherish the time you spend. There is nothing of greater importance. Sandcastles will not stand forever. The tide, the wind, a million things will assist in bringing the sand back to its original form. Just like us, its time is finite. But the joy of creating such a masterpiece can never be lost. That's why we build. You most likely won't focus on how tough the climbs were. You probably won't remember the battles and the struggles. What you'll remember are the moments of victory. The times when you were able to do something significant, to contribute to the world, to help and be near those who mean the most to you. Study after study shows that the biggest regret of people with limited time left is living according to the expectations of others. Not having lived a life that was true to themselves. We are fortunate enough to have that wisdom now. Why would we not act on it? Don't let yourself be the person who looks back and dreams about what if. Do your dreaming in the present. We're all writing our stories. Make yours a thriller. Make it a bestseller. Live now. Let that fear fade away. In your mind, there may be a negative narrative that distorts your self-image, causing you to see flaws and criticize your appearance when you look in the mirror. But let's change that perspective, because self-confidence starts with you. Notice that the word self is right there. I cannot hand you confidence on a silver platter, but I can offer you a boost, provide you with tools, and offer encouragement. However, true confidence is forged within you. Here's an important truth about confidence. You are already a confident person, which is why you miss feeling that way. We can only miss what we know. You've simply been disconnected from that feeling. Regardless of where you currently stand in life, I assure you that confidence resides within you. You just need to uncover how to tap into it. Holding on to anything that doesn't serve you is a great mistake. Such clinging will only cause problems, and you might find yourself blaming others or external circumstances for your struggles. But in reality, you are the root of the problem. I once received valuable advice from a humble man. He used to tell me, "You're the only problem you'll ever have, and you are the only solution." It took me 5 years to fully grasp the meaning, but now I understand. And you know what? He was right. I am indeed the only problem I'll ever have, and I am also the only solution. Let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Embrace the beauty of your mind's inductive reasoning factor, the part that chooses thoughts. You have the power to accept or reject any thought or belief that enters your world. It's a conscious choice. So don't hold on to anything that doesn't serve your growth. When we adopt a victim mentality, we misuse our personal power and become helpless. However, if we choose to take responsibility for our lives, we no longer waste time blaming external factors. Some people feel guilty for experiencing illness, poverty, or problems, wrongly interpreting responsibility as guilt. The media often refers to this as New Age guilt. These individuals tend to feel guilty because they believe they have failed in some way. However, it's crucial to understand that accepting responsibility does not equate to making oneself wrong. When we view our problems and illnesses as opportunities for personal growth and change, we tap into our power. Remember this: life is a battle for territory. If you stop fighting for what you desire, what you don't want will automatically take over. In the past, people often saw themselves as victims of circumstances, believing that life hadn't bestowed upon them the same blessings others enjoyed. But the truth is, your issues don't lie outside of you. We used to ask the universe for things, thinking it was the provider. However, we now know that our struggles stem from internal factors, our subconscious beliefs, which were imprinted during childhood. Think about the things parents say while raising a child. "You don't deserve this," or "Who do you think you are?" Although parents don't mean these statements to shape the child's entire life, they use them as a push, hoping for a positive change. Around 95% of our lives are influenced by these subconscious programs. If disempowering beliefs from others are deeply ingrained in your perception of self, it's no wonder you face daily challenges. Yes, you may desire success, great relationships, and good health. But your conscious mind accounts for only 5% of your day. The remaining 95% is dominated by these subconscious programs, many of which are negative, self-sabotaging, and disempowering. So it's time to break free from this struggle. It's not because the universe is failing to provide, it's because your own consciousness is resisting acceptance. This is where change must occur. Take control of your mind, seize command of your consciousness, and transcend these limitations. There are various ways to reclaim control in your life. For instance, in practices like yoga, you become the master of your mind, preventing it from wandering aimlessly. You decide what to focus on and what to let go of. Overcoming your old self allows you to transform into someone new. During this transition, often referred to as the void, when things may seem stagnant, you must persevere and continue until you reach the end of your limiting beliefs, where most people tend to give up. Recently, I had an incredible conversation with someone who broke through to the other side. Now, magic surrounds her because she now recognizes her worthiness to receive it. This realization is key because the universe grants us what we believe we deserve. So we must internalize this understanding and acknowledge the thousands of years of programming that convinced us change had to occur in the material realm, in the three-dimensional reality. However, it's time to shift our focus to the quantum field and create from that space rather than being bound by material constraints. This transition requires unlearning, rewiring our minds to mentally rehearse new patterns. At the end of each day, ask yourself, how did I do? Did I live up to my highest potential? Reflect on the moments you fell from grace and contemplate how you can evolve your experiences. You might search for guidance, seek out role models, or engage in deep introspection. The next time you face a challenging situation, consider how you can respond differently. Mentally visualize yourself taking empowered actions. This practice begins to rewire your brain, creating the neurological pathways as if you have already made those positive choices. Your brain is no longer a record of the past, but a map to the future. Keep installing this mental hardware and it will become a software program, leading you to naturally embody happiness. There's no magic here, it's simply the result of installing the right circuits. This practice is more crucial than watching the news, answering emails, or dwelling on the past. If you desire external self-confidence, you must cultivate internal integrity. The foundation of self-confidence lies in living consistently with your deepest values and principles while aligning your thoughts and actions with your highest aspirations. Individuals who possess unwavering self-confidence are those who wholeheartedly believe in what is right, good, and worthwhile, and they reflect these convictions in their words and deeds. Everything they say and do emanates from their innermost beliefs. Even when your world crumbles around you, as long as you know you are doing the right thing, you will experience a profound sense of calm. This inner peace will manifest as confidence and self-assurance in any situation. Life is full of ups and downs, but staying true to yourself is paramount. Your authentic values are expressed through your actions, what you choose to do. Your true character is revealed when you face difficult choices, especially when torn between opposing demands or responsibilities. Your actions in such moments unveil your deepest values or lack thereof. It's not about what you say, hope, wish, or intend. It's solely about what you do. Your actions unveil the truth of who you are. You can develop an exceptional set of values by acting as though you already possess those values. By behaving with integrity, courage, compassion, and confidence, even when faced with conflicting emotions, you hasten the transformation of these qualities into a permanent part of your being. The more you practice living by these positive values, the more rapidly you become an extraordinary individual. To unlock unshakable self-confidence, essential keys are self-control, self-mastery, and self-discipline. Confidence can emerge directly through self-assured behavior, but more often, it arises indirectly through actions, behaviors, and practices that lead to self-confidence. The most significant self-development practice is living consistently in alignment with your highest values at every opportunity. Our greatest gift in life is the power of transformation, just one decision away. Every decision we make holds the potential to change our path, experiences, beliefs, and identity, leading us towards an entirely different life. It's remarkable to think that everything we once knew about ourselves can be discarded with a single swing of the axe. The past may have shaped our identity, but it's an imaginary world that no longer serves us. We live at the intersection of the past and the future, But the past has no true meaning anymore. It's like an elephant tied to a chair with a rope, unaware of its own strength to break free. The past and our sense of identity are based on lies. We are not defined by who we were yesterday, but by who we are right now. We often get caught up in these lies and overlook the control we have over our future. Saying things like, "I'm not a morning person," or "I struggle with public speaking," is merely a reflection of our past conditioning. It doesn't define who we are in the present or who we can become in the future. Realizing that we can disconnect from these narratives is a superpower. Calling ourselves a bad student because of a failed test is like wearing a raincoat forever because it rained yesterday. We have the power to adapt and change. Now is the beginning of the rest of our lives. By making small changes and envisioning who we want to be, we can move towards our ideal self. Understanding the power of habits and change allows us to see that transformation doesn't have to be overwhelming or scary. It's about making small adjustments that work in our favor, like waking up earlier or focusing on positive outcomes. Remember, we are always just one decision away from a completely different life. The key is to choose the future over the past, to embrace the next step rather than dwelling on the last one. It's about choosing the life we desire and taking action to make it a reality. A few years ago, I had a breakthrough that changed my life. It was a moment when I realized the tremendous amount of control I have over my own life. This realization empowered me, as if I had finally discovered the key to unlock the door that had been holding me back. From that moment on, I asked myself, why not start living like I have this power? Life will always have its responsibilities and sacrifices, but knowing that I can shape my own destiny made me question what I was sacrificing for. Where was I going? Who was I surrounding myself with? Was I living a life true to myself? Time passes by quickly, and it's not guaranteed. No one will remind us that we're just going through the motions. We have to take a look in the mirror and ask ourselves the tough questions. We have the tools and the ability to create the life we want, but it requires action and intention. Today might be the day to cut away the parts of our life that no longer serve us. It's time to let go of people, places, and things that don't contribute to our well-being. We don't have to live on repeat if we're not happy. We have the power to change anything in our lives. We often box ourselves in and adapt to a reality that falls short of what truly matters to us. But we must remember that nothing happens without momentum, and momentum is something we create. We are not just characters in this story, we are creators. I've experienced ups and downs in my personal journey, and I believe it's a healthy sign of growth. It's important to look for those imaginary ropes that tie us down and break free from them. By pushing ourselves, trying new things, and taking risks, we can create momentum and feel the excitement. Thank you, and God bless you. Find a way. You, because you possess immense strength. Anything less than a solution or progress signifies surrender, and that's not who you are. Embrace discomfort today, as it will become a source of pride tomorrow. The choice to persevere carries more significance than it seems in difficult times. It's easy to turn back, but your path lies in moving forward, even through darkness. Find a way. Although safety and predictability may be tempting, our souls yearn for adventure. Life's meaning lies in conquering challenges and slaying our dragons. Step out and face your dragons. Find a way. Evolving oneself is a journey that requires effort. Keeping promises to yourself is no small feat. When you go to bed at night, knowing you've stayed true to who you want to be, you hold power. It sets you on a trajectory towards infinite possibilities and points you towards the stars. Find a way. Understand that the world is moldable clay, not a checklist. Life is a gift, not an obligation. When you find a way, you become the ruler of your own kingdom. Remember that a path exists. The question is whether you're willing to make the effort. Will you surpass the limits imposed by others, the past, and your own thoughts? Can you endure short-term hardships, temporary falls, and imperfections? Are you willing to exchange them for boundless opportunities? Always remember that it's not about asking, can I? Or is it possible? It's about asking how. How do you reach your finish line? The dots are there. You need to connect them. Build bridges over the unknown oceans and valleys of the unforeseen. There is a way. Don't forget that. It's not the destination that matters. It's your determination to keep knocking until the right door opens. You have everything you need within you. You are equipped to connect those dots. Decide what matters more, reaching the mountaintop or experiencing its shade at the bottom. How much are you willing to give to become more than you've ever been and do more than you've ever done? There is always a way. Will you find it? Before you can reach your destination, you must decide to begin. Acknowledge that what you're pursuing means more to you than what you're leaving behind. This marks the start of your greatest adventure. You now understand that someday has transformed into right now. The road beneath you beckons and the wind propels you forward. Life offers no guarantees, but that's what makes it incredible. Your imagination determines how far you'll go, whether it's just outside your door or where the sun meets the ocean. Someday, what seems unclear today will make sense. The challenges that currently appear overwhelming will diminish. The doubts you have about yourself will prove false. The worries that consume you will lose their significance. You'll realize that the path ahead doesn't require flawlessness, but trust and belief. Eventually, you'll look in the mirror and see that you possess the strength all along. You had everything you needed. There was nothing to hope for or acquire. That someday will become your reality. But what about the somedays of the past? I remember thinking, someday I'll explore the world. Someday I'll speak my mind. Someday I'll start my own business and surround myself with like-minded individuals. Someday I'll have more time and money to do what I love. And now I realize that those somedays look a lot like today. As we grow, our somedays evolve. The chase never ends. There's always something more, something new. Seize the opportunity, believe in yourself, and create the future you desire. I have discovered that nothing in life holds true value unless you embrace risks. Absolutely nothing. Nelson Mandela once shared that there is no fulfillment in playing small and settling for a life that falls short of your true potential. Throughout your journey in school, college applications, selecting a major, and determining your life's path, I am certain that people have advised you to have a backup plan. Ensure you have something to fall back on, they say. But personally, I never quite grasped the concept of relying on a safety net. If I'm going to stumble, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least that way, I will witness the obstacle before me. Without perseverance, you will never reach the finish line. So pursue what ignites your passion. Embrace your passions. Take risks. Do not fear failure. Allow me to share an anecdote about an old IQ test involving 9 dots. The task was to connect 5 of those dots using only a pencil without lifting it. The only way to succeed was to venture beyond the confines of the dots. Do not be afraid to think beyond the conventional. Do not be afraid to fail on a grand scale, to dream big. However, bear in mind, dreams without goals are merely dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times during his baseball career, setting a record for the most strikeouts in history. Yet people do not remember the strikeouts. They remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Were you aware of that? I wasn't, until I learned that the 1,001st experiment led to the invention of the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment brings you one step closer to success. You must be willing to take risks. You have probably heard this advice before, but allow me to explain why it holds such immense importance. At some point in your life, you will experience failure. Accept it. You will face defeat. You will embarrass yourself. You will stumble in your endeavors. Undoubtedly, this may not seem like a conventional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I am telling you this because it is inevitable. In the field of acting, failure is an ever-present companion. Early in my career, I auditioned for a role in a Broadway musical. It seemed like the perfect fit, except for one minor detail. I couldn't sing. I did not get the part. However, here's what happened next. I did not quit. I did not retreat to prepare for the next audition, and the next, and the next. I persisted, I persevered despite continuous failures, but that did not deter me. You know why? Because there is an old saying, if you spend enough time in a barbershop, eventually you'll get a haircut. You will. Sooner or later, you will catch a break. And finally, last year, I got my opportunity. I performed in a play on Broadway, and guess what? It was at the Court Theater, the very same theater where I had failed my initial audition 3 decades prior. The message here is that every graduate present today possesses the training and talent required for success. But do you possess the courage to fail? You do. If you never fail, you are not truly exerting yourself. I will reiterate. If you never fail, you are not truly striving to obtain what you have never had. You must do something you have never done. Imagine yourself on your deathbed. Surrounding you are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. Ghosts symbolizing the ideas you never acted upon, the talents you left dormant. They encircle your bed, filled with anger, disappointment, and regret. They will say, "We approached you because only you could have brought us to life, but now we must depart together to the grave." So I ask you today, how many ghosts will linger beside your bed when your time comes? I recently returned from South Africa, a magnificent country. Yet there are regions plagued by severe poverty that desperately need assistance. Africa is just the beginning. The Middle East, Japan, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, Philadelphia, all require your aid. The world demands much, and it seeks it from you. Yes, we genuinely do. We need it from the younger generation. I do not speak on behalf of the rest of the individuals present here, but I know I'm growing older. We need it from you, the young people. And remember this, you must go out into the world and give it everything you have, whether it is your time, your talent, your prayers, or your resources. What will you do with what you possess? I am not referring to the quantity you possess. Some of you are pursuing business degrees. Some of you are theologians, nurses, or sociologists. Some of you possess wealth. Some possess patience, kindness, or love. Some of you possess the gift of enduring hardship. Whatever it may be, whatever your gift, what will you do with what you have? Now let me share my final thought on failure. Sometimes it is the most effective means to discover your true path. Your life will never follow a straight trajectory. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I enrolled in a course called Cardiac Morphogenesis. I struggled to read it. I stumbled over its pronunciation. And I most certainly could not grasp its essence. Consequently, I shifted my focus to pre-law and later journalism. Without a clear academic direction, my grades followed their own course. I graduated with a 1.8 GPA. The university politely suggested that taking some time off might be beneficial. I was 20 years old and I had reached my lowest point. Then one day, I remember it distinctly, March 20th, 1975, I was assisting my mother at her beauty shop. She owned a salon in Mount Vernon. There was an older woman present, a respected elder in our town. Although I did not know her personally, every time I glanced in the mirror, I could see her reflection behind me. She studied me intently, her gaze unwavering. Finally, she removed the hairdryer from her head and spoke words I will forever carry. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophetic vision, a spiritual prophecy." She continued, "You will travel the world and address millions of people." In the years that followed, just as that woman foretold, I traveled the globe and spoke to millions through my movies. Yet, until this day, many couldn't see me. Until this day, I couldn't truly see those to whom I spoke. They only witnessed my on-screen persona. They couldn't see the real me. However, as I observe the youth of today, I find encouragement. I draw strength from your endeavors. For taking risks is not solely about pursuing employment. It is also about acknowledging what you know and what you don't. It involves being open to different people and ideas. The risks you take, the people you meet, the love you give, and the faith you hold, these elements will define you. Never be disheartened, never hold back, give everything you have. And when you stumble throughout life, remember this: fall forward. Stand up. Are you tuned into what I'm saying? And every day, there are 24 precious hours. Rise up. Rise up this very moment from the depths of your despair. Stand up now and commence your ascent. Stand up now and acknowledge your true self. Stand. Rise up now and declare, enough is enough. Fight for it. Seize command of your life as you rise from your slumber and embark upon your day before stepping outside that door. Make peace within yourself. So what if you stumbled? So what if you fell? Stand up now and ascend. With each mountain you scale, the challenge intensifies. Thus, I urge you to rise. Concentrate on conquering today. This is your moment, the moment of reckoning, to grasp that within you lie immense possibilities. I speak to those who comprehend that true grit is born of labor. Let me elucidate on grit. Grit is when agony weighs heavily upon you. Grit is when anguish gnaws at your core, yet you know you have a duty to fulfill. Grit propels you in a different direction altogether. How do you surmount obstacles? By persistently ascending. Fall, rise, falter, rise. Ascend. Understand that you are destined for something greater. You were not crafted for insignificance. Realize that what did not shape you cannot shatter you. Focus on your determination. Focus on your purpose. And persevere through the day. Do not dwell on the morrow. Concentrate on the present. I may err. I may stumble, but I shall rise. I may encounter hardship, but I shall learn. I shall become what I am destined to be, and no force can wrest that from me. For I am who I am. How shall you uncover your essence if you cower in fear of criticism, setbacks, or rejection? Trials. How shall you discover your identity if you lack the fortitude to rise, to proclaim, I know who I am, I know I am capable, I know I can strive for better? You might question, why me? Why must I confront such formidable challenges? Why must I encounter obstacles each day at work? Why must I contend with individuals who seek to test me daily? Very well, here's a mountain. Let us see what I can surmount. Oh dear, yet another obstacle. Let us see how I fare. You cannot traverse this existence without scaling something. If you aspire to ascend, you must climb. If you yearn to reach the next echelon, you must surmount obstacles, challenges, life itself. And you know what? I neglected to mention this. Guess what? Esteemed individuals. You must labor for it. That outcome you ardently desire in your life, that pursuit you chase fervently, how do you suppose you will attain it? It will not materialize overnight. It will not be bestowed upon you. You must persistently climb that mountain. You must persevere. You will stumble numerous times. You will falter. Let me share something with you. There have been countless instances in my life when I stumbled, when I faltered. I did not know how I would rise again, but rise I did. I refused to relinquish my resolve. I reached a juncture where I wished to proceed no further, yet I declared, not today. This shall not come to pass because I know I have a duty to fulfill. You can achieve it, I know you can. But do you believe in yourself? You can. You can't. Yes, you can. Be the person you need to be. But do not become a mere excuse. Do not surrender. Rise. Ascend. Today is the day. Today is about you. Yes. Esteemed individuals, I assure you, throughout your lifetime, you will challenge yourself and you will be challenged. Throughout your existence, you will confront situations for which you are ill-prepared. Yet you must remain prepared. You must gather yourself now. You must comprehend that your journey will not be facile because you inhabit it each and every day. Merely because something or someone assails you does not signify the end of your life. It signifies a test. Do not halt. Keep progressing. Do not cease. Keep striving. Do not halt. Keep battling. Do not halt. Keep toiling. Let this day serve as a lesson, not a conclusion. Let this day be the trial that begets a triumph. Let this day be your faith. Let this day be your strength, and traverse it. Forge ahead and recognize that you have a life to live. But if you surrender, if you diminish yourself, you will never attain greatness. Say it to yourself. I am not defeated. I possess strength. I shall rise anew, and I shall persevere, because I know who I am. I am not here to be vanquished. I shall emerge victorious, for I am who I am, and I must continually strive to be the best version of myself. Therefore, live fervently. Conquer this day. Be industrious. Be formidable. And from the depths of my being, conduct your affairs. You know, sometimes you just need to step back from everything, take a break, vanish, and then re-emerge with a bang. This message is for the hustlers, the visionaries, the creators, and the ones who dream big. I'm talking to the athletes who sweat it out on the field, the nurses who care for others, the entrepreneurs chasing their big break, and everyone in between. This is for those who refuse to settle, those who are okay with stepping into the shadows to prepare for their moment in the spotlight. Our world is filled with constant noise, distractions, and a never-ending stream of notifications. It's all too easy to get swept up in the rush, but sometimes the only way to make real progress is to take a step back and focus on yourself. To delete the apps, turn off the noise, and just disappear for a while. I'm talking about taking a break from the constant demands of life to work on your own goals without all the external pressures. Let's talk about Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Inc. Jobs was known for his vision and innovation, but he wasn't always at the top. In 1985, he was ousted from Apple, the company he co-founded. It was a shock to him and the tech world, but Jobs didn't let it break him. He took a break, founded a new company called Next, and acquired Pixar. During this time away from Apple, he learned, grew, and gained new perspectives. When Apple was struggling in 1997, they brought Jobs back, and he completely transformed the company, leading it to unprecedented success with products like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad. His break didn't stop him. It fueled his creativity and drive, allowing him to make an incredible comeback. Another powerful example is Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. In 1993, at the height of his career, Jordan shocked the sports world by retiring from basketball to pursue a career in baseball. His decision was influenced by personal reasons, including the tragic loss of his father. Jordan's journey into baseball was filled with challenges and setbacks, but he used this time away from basketball to refocus and heal. After 2 years, he returned to the Chicago Bulls, leading the team to 3 more NBA championships and cementing his legacy as a basketball icon. His break didn't weaken him. It strengthened his resolve and determination. Then there's J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before becoming one of the world's best-selling authors, Rowling faced significant hardships. She was a single mother, living on welfare, struggling with depression, and feeling lost. During this challenging period, Rowling took a break from her previous career and dedicated herself to writing. She spent countless hours in cafes, pouring her heart into the manuscript that would become Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Her time away from the conventional workforce allowed her to tap into her creativity and write a story that would captivate millions of readers worldwide. Her break was a turning point, leading her to become one of the most successful authors in history. These stories show that sometimes taking a break is the key to unlocking your true potential. When you step back from the noise and focus on what truly matters, you give yourself the space to grow, learn, and come back stronger than ever. These individuals didn't just disappear for the sake of disappearing. They used their breaks to recharge, refocus, and find new inspiration. Everybody wants success, fulfillment, and the next level. But nobody wants to put in the work behind the scenes, the real work, the grind, the hustle that nobody sees. It's easy to dream about the glory, but much harder to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. If you're ready to make a change, it's time to disappear for a while. It's time to shut out the distractions, turn off the noise, and get down to business. Think about it. What would happen if you could focus entirely on your goals for just a few months? If you could eliminate all distractions and just work on yourself, what could you achieve? The public sees the glory, but they don't see the hours of practice, the sleepless nights, and the sacrifices that go into achieving greatness. Can you unplug for just a moment and focus on what truly matters? Why are you here? What is your destiny? These are questions you need to answer for yourself. And you won't find the answers while you're scrolling through social media or binge watching TV. You find them in the quiet moments, when you're alone with your thoughts, putting in the work when nobody's watching. The reason you're not where you want to be might be because you're not willing to sacrifice what it takes to get there. Sure, it's easy to talk about your goals, plan them out, and even attend conferences to get motivated. But at some point, you need to stop talking and start doing. You need to disappear for a while, put in the work, and then come back and shock everyone who doubted you. This isn't going to be easy. You might have to make sacrifices that nobody else in your life is willing to make. You might have to give up comforts, sleep in your car, or go without food. You might have to work long hours without recognition or validation. But if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to go through the process in the dark room, you'll come out stronger and ready to take on the world. Think about some of the greatest successes in history. The athletes, the innovators, the actors who captivate us. We celebrate them for their achievements, but we don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that went into their success. We don't see the sacrifices they made, the prayers they prayed, or the countless hours they spent in the dark room honing their craft. Life is full of distractions, and it's easy to get caught up in them. But if you want to achieve greatness, you have to be willing to let go of anything that isn't contributing to your success. You need to ask yourself, is this worth my time? If it's not, let it go. Unplug. Disconnect from anything that's holding you back. It's time to eliminate distractions and focus on what truly matters. So, are you ready to disappear for a while? Are you willing to step back from the public eye? Hide yourself in the gym, the library, the boardroom and do the work? Are you ready to go all in without telling the world what you're about to do? Steve Jobs once said that Apple never announced their future products. They worked on them in secret and then released them to the world. That's the kind of focus you need. We only have so much mental bandwidth, so much energy, and so much time. Don't waste it on distractions, negativity, or things that aren't moving you forward. Every moment, every thought, and every action should be contributing to your goals. If it's not, it's time to cut it loose. Focus on your future and do the work that will get you there. Remember, you build in the dark and announce it when it's done. So if you're ready, go into the dark room, put in the work, and prepare for the moment when you step out and shock the world with what you've achieved. Yes, it hurts, I know. When you find yourself alone, enveloped in darkness, feeling unseen, unheard, uncared for, it cuts deep. But amidst this pain, I urge you to realize the most crucial truth of all. You must love yourself fiercely. To make a mark on this world, to truly live and not just exist, you must fall in love with yourself anew. Stop the cycle of self-hatred. Stop beating yourself down. Lift yourself up. Do something, anything that propels you forward, that crafts a better version of yourself. Understand that life is not merely a series of days to be endured, but a canvas on which to paint a masterpiece of impact and meaning. Life is indeed short. Many have left us too soon, not knowing that the very next day would bring an end to their plans and dreams. They thought tomorrow awaited them, yet they did not wait to see it. But you who are here in this moment, you are alive. What will you do with this precious gift? Do not wait for life to happen to you. Do not wait for others to fix your path. Life is not a game. It is the rawest form of reality, filled with highs and lows and the undeniable truth of now. The power to improve your life rests in your hands and yours alone. Banish those things that do not build you up, that do not fill you with strength and efficiency. Reject passivity and embrace the challenge of living fully. Every breath you take is a testament to your resilience. Do not surrender to despair. You are here for a reason. Each day is a new chance to leave your mark. Help someone up when they're down. Be their strength when they feel weak. And perhaps when you find yourself at your lowest, you will find hands reaching out to lift you. Remember, struggle is universal. No one is spared. The battles you face today forge the victories of tomorrow. Each challenge, each setback is an integral step on the path to greatness. Do not fear the pain. Do not shy away from the struggle. Embrace it, for it is the crucible in which true character is formed. As we stand together in this room, let us not dwell on the uncertainties of tomorrow, for tomorrow is beholden to no one. It has already made up its mind. Focus instead on today, this moment, this opportunity. What you could not achieve yesterday is past, but what you can achieve today is in your hands. You may have walked through fire to get here. You may carry scars, but let me tell you, these scars are not signs of your defeat, but badges of your indomitable spirit. Hell may have tried to claim you, but it did not create you. You are here because a greater power saw fit to place you in this moment, in this life with all its possibilities. And yes, some have reached heights of success, but they too had to navigate through their own storms to reach their summits. Every successful person has a story of hardship, of endurance, of resilience. What will your story be? What of those who face greater trials? The ones who cannot walk, who cannot speak, who suffer illnesses with no cures. What of them? What of you? What will you do with this one wild and precious life you've been given? Will you falter because of a bad day, a lost job, or a moment that didn't go your way? Or will you rise, recognizing that every challenge is a stepping stone to greater heights? We are all accountable, all responsible, not only for ourselves, but for one another. And as long as your heart beats, as long as air fills your lungs, you are not done. Your story is not over. The time is now not to lie down, but to rise up. Rise above despair, rise above defeat. Push forward, not back. For time waits for no one, and it certainly won't pause for you. It's time to show what you're made of. Time to prove that your existence is not in vain. It takes grit, it takes sacrifice. It takes a relentless will to push through when every fiber of your being wants to give up. But this is not about pity. This is about rising to the occasion of your life. Celebrate your existence. For no matter the circumstances, the act of living offers you the chance to change, to evolve, to transcend. So many may doubt you, but while they doubt, spend no time on their skepticism. Instead, invest your energy in believing in yourself. Live your life with a breath of passion and purpose. Do you hear it? The call to live, to really live? Breathe in life, breathe in possibility, breathe in your potential. And let's embark on this journey together with hearts full and spirits undeterred, ready to embrace each moment, each challenge, each opportunity to truly live. Let's make our lives extraordinary together. Every day that you wake up, remember someone else did not. You are alive for a reason. And it's not by accident. Why are you here? This is your day. You have a limited window, just another 24 hours, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. The reason why days often feel meaningless is because we're walking aimlessly. It's time to find your direction. What are you going to do in these 24 hours that you didn't do yesterday? Are you going to level up, even just 2 millimeters further? Will you get stronger, wiser, and more resilient? Will you seize the opportunity of each new day? Let's reflect on some famous warriors who faced defeat, but came back stronger to win their battles. Think about Alexander the Great, one of history's greatest military leaders. During his campaign in India, he faced fierce resistance at the Battle of the Hydaspes. His army was exhausted, and the enemy's war elephants posed a serious challenge. Alexander's initial plan to cross the Hydaspes River and surprise his enemies failed, resulting in a setback. But did he give up? No. Alexander learned from his mistakes and crafted a new strategy. He realized that his direct approach had been too predictable, so he devised a clever deception. Instead of launching a frontal assault, he decided to divide his forces. He left part of his army at the original crossing point to distract the enemy, while secretly leading a larger force downstream to cross the river at night. This surprise maneuver caught the Indian forces off guard, allowing Alexander to gain a tactical advantage. By using strategic deception and timing, he was able to outmaneuver his enemies and ultimately triumph. This victory demonstrated Alexander's ability to adapt, innovate, and use his failures to fuel future success. Or consider Ulysses S. Grant, the famous American Civil War general. Early in his career, Grant experienced setbacks, including failures at the Battle of Belmont and the Battle of Shiloh. Critics questioned his leadership, and he faced immense pressure to step down. But Grant didn't let those defeats define him. He learned from his mistakes, adjusted his tactics, and eventually led the Union Army to victory. His resilience and determination to keep fighting despite initial setbacks are a testament to the power of perseverance. Another example is Admiral Horatio Nelson, one of Britain's most celebrated naval commanders. During the Battle of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, he suffered a significant defeat and even lost his arm. Yet Nelson didn't let this failure deter him. Instead, he used the lessons learned from that battle to refine his naval tactics, eventually leading the British to decisive victories at the Battle of the Nile and the Battle of Trafalgar. Nelson's comeback from defeat is a story of grit, determination, and unwavering focus. These examples show that even the strongest warriors face defeat. They make mistakes, they fall, but they learn, adapt, and come back stronger. How are you learning from your defeats? How are you adapting to ensure you don't make the same mistakes again? It's time to rise above your setbacks and take control of your future. This day, seize the opportunities you have. Face where you are. Be aware of your finances, relationships, and mental health. Let's take stock. This is the day to read that book, to start that new venture, to invest in yourself. Because this is your day. This is your moment. This is your turn to own it. Crush this day, push harder, learn more, invest wisely, and take it seriously. If you're going to win today, you've got to heal from the mistakes of yesterday. Don't let yesterday's failures hold you back. You've got to believe that you don't have to make the same mistakes. Take a lesson from warriors like Alexander, Grant, and Nelson. Mistakes are part of the journey, but they don't define your destiny. Heal from every harsh word, every disappointment. Heal from those who pushed you down, from those who weren't there when you needed them. Today, let go of what you didn't have and embrace what you have. Accept where you are, acknowledge the truth, and give yourself time to heal. Learn from your mistakes and from the mistakes of others. Study why you failed, how you failed, and make sure you don't repeat those mistakes. If you're going to win the battle of life, you need a high threshold for pain. Because there will be setbacks. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will unravel. Life will hit you hard, but you have to stay focused even when it hurts, even when you're ostracized or ignored. It might sting, but the pain will pass. Warriors know that pain is temporary, but victory is worth the struggle. To crush this day, think differently, plan differently, set your goals, and write them down. Get clear. Get specific. Write down your dreams and let them guide your actions. If you want success, the planning stages must matter. You need to understand the value of the process. Remember, no great warrior fights alone. Find people who will hold you accountable, who will lift you up, who will push you when you're down. Alexander had his trusted generals. Grant had his dedicated officers. And Nelson had his loyal sailors. Find your support system, your circle of accountability, and let them guide you toward victory. I speak healing over you. I speak breakthrough into your life. No matter how hard you've fallen, you have enough grit, enough grace, enough faith, and enough courage to stand up and keep going. It's time to rise. This is your day. Get up and conquer it. This message is for the ones who started with nothing, for those who grew up without the safety net others took for granted. I'm talking to the ones who were written off, who were misunderstood, who were told they wouldn't make it. This is for you, the ones who've had to claw and fight for every inch, who've had to battle through the pain, the doubt, and the fear to get where you are today. You have dreams. Maybe it's to own your own home, to build a better relationship, to win a competition, or to pull your family out of poverty. Whatever it is, that dream is the fuel that keeps you going when everyone else says you can't. As an underdog, you've been told you're not enough, that you're too small, too slow, too inexperienced. But the beauty of being an underdog is that you have nothing to lose. You're climbing that hill, and the only thing pushing you forward is your dream. You've been overlooked, undervalued, and maybe even betrayed. People stop believing in you. But here's the thing about underdogs. When they're pushed to the edge, when they've had enough, they become dangerous. A desperate underdog is someone who disrupts the status quo, who doesn't play by the rules, who is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their dream. When you're hungry, you become a force to be reckoned with. And when you finally get that taste of what could be, nothing can stop you. If you've ever felt like an underdog, you're in good company. Some of the most successful people in the world started from nothing, overlooked, underestimated, counted out. They were told they couldn't do it, that they weren't good enough. But they proved everyone wrong. Let's take a look at a few real-life underdogs who rose from the ashes and became icons of success. Consider Sylvester Stallone. He was a struggling actor with a speech impediment and faced countless rejections in Hollywood. But he had a dream. He wrote the screenplay for Rocky, a story about an underdog boxer who gets a shot at the championship. When Stallone pitched his script, he insisted on playing the lead role, despite studios wanting a more established actor. His determination paid off. Rocky became a hit, earning multiple Academy Award nominations, and launched Stallone's successful acting career. His story resonates with underdogs everywhere, showing that with enough grit and determination, you can overcome any obstacle. Another notable example of an underdog who faced immense obstacles and rose to success is Jim Carrey. Before becoming a household name for his iconic roles in comedy, Carrey's early life was anything but glamorous. He grew up in a family that struggled financially, and as a teenager, he had to drop out of school to help support his family. At one point, his family lived out of a van, highlighting the severe hardships they faced. Despite these challenges, Carrey had a dream of becoming a comedian and actor. He performed stand-up comedy in small clubs and faced rejection and criticism along the way. His journey to success wasn't straightforward, and he often had to work odd jobs to make ends meet while pursuing his career in entertainment. But Carey's persistence and resilience never wavered. To stay motivated, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it for 10 years in the future. This symbolic gesture represented his belief in his talent and his determination to achieve success against all odds. Carey's breakthrough came with his roles in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. These films catapulted him to fame, and he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable and successful comedic actors. Being an underdog isn't a disadvantage. It's a source of strength. When you're counted out, when you're told you can't do something, it ignites a fire within you. It drives you to prove everyone wrong, to achieve what others thought was impossible. The underdog mentality is about turning setbacks into fuel, about using adversity as a stepping stone to greatness. You've been underestimated, counted out, ignored. But that only makes you stronger. You've had to fight for everything you have. When the world says you can't, it's like music to your ears. It awakens something inside you, something primal, something that refuses to be kept down. The underdog mentality takes the pain, the doubt, and the fear and turns it into fuel. If you came from nothing, that's everything you need to become something. Think about it. Everyone wants a piece of the pie, but the pie doesn't get bigger. It's the underdogs, the hungry ones, who are willing to push through anything to get their share. They don't wait for opportunities to come to them. They go out and seize them. The pie doesn't pursue you. You got to go after it with everything you got. You might have to push people out of your way, climb over obstacles, and fight for every inch. But that's what makes an underdog so powerful. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling defeated, if you're facing a challenge that seems insurmountable, you've got to find that hunger within you. You've got to smell blood. Once you get that scent, once you see what you're capable of, there's no turning back. In the face of adversity, in the face of everyone who said you couldn't, you become armed and dangerous. You become unstoppable. The underdog doesn't let setbacks define them. They don't let other people's opinions shape their reality. When the world says you can't, the underdog says, watch me. It's a mindset, a mentality that says, all I have is all I need. You don't need validation from others. You don't need approval. You just need that dream, that fire, that hunger to keep pushing forward. If you're going to come back from a setback, you've got to make up your mind that you're no longer going to live in the pain of the past. Pain is inevitable, but it doesn't have to define you. The underdog is the one who scrambles, who barks, who runs after whatever they want. When a dog is hungry, nothing stands in its way. It comes for blood. And that's what you need. The hunger, the drive, the willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve your dream. 9 times out of 10, the underdog comes out on top because they're hungrier. The wolf climbing the hill is always hungrier than the one sitting at the top. The underdog has something to prove. And that's what makes them so dangerous. So if you've been overlooked, if you've been told you're not enough, if you've been counted out, remember this. The underdog always has the advantage because they've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So what are you waiting for? It's time to embrace the underdog mentality. It's time to climb that hill to prove everyone wrong and to show the world what you're made of. Because at the end of the day, all you have is all you need. Now go out there and get what's yours.